The royal palace was preparing for its grand annual charity banquet. Politicians, celebrities, diplomats, and members of high society filled the golden ballroom. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. Violins played softly in the background. And standing quietly near the serving table was a young maid holding a silver tray. Her name was Elena, 24 years old. Quiet, graceful, beautiful in a way that did not go unnoticed. She had warm caramel skin, soft brown eyes, and dark curly hair tied neatly into a low bun beneath her maid's cap. Unlike the other staff, Elena carried herself with unusual elegance. Too much elegance, enough to attract attention. And that was exactly what Queen Margaret hated. Queen Margaret was admired across the country, regal, sophisticated, untouchable, but beneath the polished smile was a woman obsessed with appearances. As she walked through the ballroom greeting guests, her eyes landed on Elena. Again, the young maid had accidentally drawn attention from several guests, including a visiting prince. Margaret's face hardened. She walked directly toward Elena, in front of everyone. "Why are you standing like that?" the queen asked sharply. Elena blinked. "Your Majesty, you look as though you belong among the guests." Soft laughter spread through the room. Elena lowered her gaze. "I apologize, Your Majesty." But Margaret wasn't finished. She grabbed the tray from Elena's hands and slammed it onto the nearby table. Glasses rattled loudly. "You are a maid," Margaret said coldly. "Not royalty, not nobility, not important." The room fell silent. Guests exchanged awkward glances. Elena's hands trembled slightly. Still, she remained respectful. "Yes, Your Majesty." Margaret leaned closer. "Know your place." Humiliated, Elena quietly stepped back as whispers filled the ballroom. Several guests looked uncomfortable, but no one dared interfere, not with the queen. Elena excused herself and hurried out of the ballroom, fighting back tears. She entered an empty palace corridor and leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. Her hands shook, not because of the insult, but because this was not the first time. Queen Margaret had always treated her strangely, colder than the others, harsher, as though something about Elena deeply irritated her, something she could not explain. Inside the ballroom, an elderly woman had witnessed everything. Lady Beatrice, the Queen Mother's former personal advisor, now retired, quiet, observant, and carrying a secret she had buried for 24 years. Her expression darkened. Enough was enough. She approached Queen Margaret. "We need to talk. Now." Margaret frowned. "This is hardly the time. It cannot wait." Something in Beatrice's voice made Margaret pause. Minutes later, the two women stood alone inside the royal study. Beatrice locked the door. Margaret folded her arms impatiently. "What is this about?" Beatrice stared at her, then slowly placed an old envelope onto the desk. Yellowed with age, Margaret frowned. "What is this?" "Your past." Margaret hesitated before opening it. Inside was a faded hospital bracelet, a birth certificate, and a photograph.